myself is Divya Bahal, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. The subject that we are going to continue is your nanoscience and technology. This being an elective subject, here you will be studying about the concepts of nanoscience and its application, that is nanotechnology, and production of various materials based on this ideology, okay, that are called as nanomaterials. So first of all, we need to understand what is the term nano. Okay, it is a prefix which means very, very small. So as you will study further in this introduction lecture, you will get to know its scale, right? If I am talking about scale, the measurement is about 10 raised to minus 9 meter. Okay, so that is your nano. So first of all, it is from the Greek word. Nano means dwarf. Okay, so you can see it is defined as 1 billionth of any one unit. Okay, so it is about 0.9 times 0.1. So you can see it is 10 raised to minus 9 meter. Okay, so this is your nano. So about your subject, as you know from the name itself, it is nanoscience and nanotechnology. So what is nanoscience? Okay, so nanoscience, in that part of your subject, you will be studying about the study of objects with the size range of 1 to 100 nanometer. Okay, that is the scientific study of your nanoscience, application of its properties. Mainly we will be focusing on the properties of your components, any matter which has that range of 1 to 100 nanometer. Then what you will be studying in nanotechnology, you will be dealing with the objects in the same size to develop further more products, okay, with possible practical application. Okay, so it is usually based on nanoscience insights. So in nanoscience, you will be studying about the properties, how the decrease in size affects the bulk properties, okay, and using that properties you are applying into production of new materials, that is your nanotechnology. Now what are those nanomaterials? Okay, so nanomaterials are materials having particles or any constituent of nanoscale dimension. Okay, if any one of the scale, any one dimension is of my nano level, that is 10 raised to minus 9 meter level, then it is your nanomaterial. Okay, you are going to produce some new materials which has at least one dimension in nanoscale. So let's start. So the syllabus of your subject, you can see first of all we have introduction. You will be studying about its history, how historically also you can see evidence that nanoscience and nanotechnology was present. Then effect of nanoscience in various fields. Okay. Then second one is the properties of nanomaterial. Here we will be focusing that with reduction of size, how it affects the properties. Okay. With one example we will understand, okay, that how your bulk material, it changes its property when you are reducing its size to nano level. Then we have nanoparticle synthesis, of course. So from chapter 3 your main part starts here about the nanoparticle synthesis. Of course you have to synthesize this. So there are few approaches, which is your top down approach and bottom up approach. Okay, then you have colloid emulsion, miscellaneous polymer, mechanical attrition and high energy ball milling. So here you will be studying about various ways you are synthesizing your nanoparticles. Then we have nanomaterials characterization. Of course, once you have formed your nanomaterial, you have to characterize it. Okay, you have to test it. You have to know its properties. So we have certain methods, that is scanning electron microscopy. Then you have transmission electron microscopy. Okay, X-ray diffraction. Further, these are all included in your nanomaterial characterization. Then another unit is your fabrication. Okay, so once you have formed your nanoparticles, okay, now you have to fabricate it to form a useful products. Okay, so here you can see that lithography, chemical vapor deposition, physical vapor deposition, then salt gel synthesis. So these are the methods which are used to fabricate some new material. A very simple example, like if I say carbon nanotube. Okay, so that is formed after the fabrication. Okay, first of all you are synthesizing the nanoparticles, then you are arranging it that way that your carbon nanotube is formed. Okay, so that would be studied in fabrication. Finally, you will be studying about the application of nanotechnology in chemical industry. So you see, nanotechnology, it has its use in electronics also, computer also. But as a chemical engineer, we have to focus on those topics which are useful for chemical application, right? So in chemical industry, what we have mainly, most importantly, on catalysis. Okay, why we are using catalyst to improve the reaction yield. Okay, so in catalysis, your nanotechnology is mainly used. Why? Because as you're reducing the size, its property is enhanced. Okay, so for catalysis, it is mainly used. Then we have fuel cells, drug delivery, diagnosis, coatings. Okay, then nanocomposite polymers. In polymers also, it has a very wide application. Ink, dyes, block copolymers. Okay, so these are the certain applications in chemical industry only you will be focusing. Now see, if we are talking about the nanotechnology market, so you can see that in chemical manufacturing, 9% usage is there. Vastly it is used for material science. Okay, then electronics also. But as a chemical engineer, we are focusing on chemical manufacturing. As we already saw in the syllabus, okay, catalysis and fuel cell. Those are the certain topics we are interested in. So once again, your nanotechnology does what? It is creation of functional materials, devices and systems. The range is what, about 1 to 100 nanometer. So what you are doing here at that length scale, okay, you are exploiting its novel properties. Okay, suppose if you're talking about a metal, we know that metal is durable, right? It is ductile. But if you are reducing its size to a nano level, you can see it has become crystalline in nature. So you can see from metal, its properties has changed to crystalline in nature. This is just an example. So you can see how properties are getting exploited at nanoscale. So as an engineer and in nanotechnology, you are going to study that only. How to vary the properties, how the variation in properties is going to be useful for new applications, right? So let's see. So what is your nanoscale? Let's take certain examples. So you can see a single carbon atom. So its scale is what? 0.16 nanometer. It is that small, right? And a human hair, the scale is what? About 50 to 100 micrometer. Human hair is visible from naked eye, but your nanometer, your nanoscale, it is not visible from naked eye. You need a strong microscope to view it. Okay. What is nanometer? As I told you, to represent its scaling, we use the term nanometer. Okay, a nanometer is 1 billionth meter size. Okay, this is roughly 10 times the size of an individual atom. So you can see here your relative size, your plant cell. When it is seen from light microscope, 100 micrometer is its size. But electron microscope, which is very powerful, you can view as small as 1 nanometer small dimension. Clear? So now, why nanoscale is so important, right? We discuss about nanoscience and nanotechnology, but how it is so important. So very simple, the gist of your whole subject is here, that any bulk material, if you are reducing it to nano size, okay, so it's increasing its surface area, then antibacterial properties are enhanced, hardness also increases, then electron band gap increases. So you can see as electron band gap increases, your solar cells become more efficient. When we will study about the electrical properties, then we will see what is band gap. Okay, then its electrical properties are also increased, magnetic properties are also increased. So you can see that as my size reduction has happened, its property has been changed. It has become more useful. Okay, now very simple comparison between carbon nanotube and other material. So see, just let's take example of steel. First of all, for steel, what is bulk property? Young modulus. It is a parameter used to know it about its strength. Okay, so Young modulus, it shows you about the strength. So what is it? What is the Young modulus for steel? It is 208 GPa. Whereas its tensile strength, okay, it is 0.4 GPa. Now see, what is SWCNT? That is your single walled carbon nanotube. So here I am talking about a nano material, carbon nanotube. Okay, so you can see for carbon nanotube, the Young modulus is what? 1054 GPa, whereas its tensile strength is 150 GPa. So you can see the difference. Okay, steel, it is heavy, right? And a single walled carbon nanotube, it is very small. You cannot see it from the naked eye, right? So thus such small entity, it has such high tensile strength, and Young modulus is also what, 1054. So overall comparison, you can see that how as size has been reduced, your material has high tensile strength and Young modulus is also increased. So I can say that in construction, as technology is advancing, in construction field we are going towards nanotubes, okay, to use your carbon nanotubes instead of steel, to prepare such material made of carbon nanotube that can substitute your steel in near future. Okay, so you can see the difference in the properties. So now how this variation in characteristics occur? It's very simple. As you're decreasing the size, it is possible to vary their micro and macroscopic properties. Okay, so what the properties we are talking about, micro and macroscopic level properties, such as its charge capacity, its magnetization, melting temperature, without changing their chemical composition. Okay, the properties that are associated at macro or micro level, as I told you, charge capacity, because it is associated at its atomic level or micro level. Okay, as you reducing the size, those properties are getting changed. So nanoscale components, they have very high surface to volume ratio, making them ideal for the use in composite material, reactant system, drug delivery and chemical energy storage. Okay, yes, so let's see effect of nano size. Just a brief overview how at nano size your properties are changing. So properties which depend on size, composition and structure. Okay, so if at nano size you are getting a very high surface area. As a chemical engineer, in your catalyst, what we studied in CRE1, you have already studied that high surface area, it leads to high reactivity. More reaction is possible. Okay, so nano size increases the surface area. Then surface energy also increases. Electronic properties gets changed. Okay, you are getting optical band gap. You are having application of nanotechnology in optics also. Then its thermal and mechanical stability also changes. So you can see these are the changes in properties. Now once again, let's take example of bulk at nanoscale for gold. Okay, for bulk gold, we know that your gold is lustrous, malleable, ductile. Okay, these are the certain physical properties of your metal. Gold is a metal, but at nanoscale, okay, note down the 8th point. Your gold particle, it acts as a glass. Okay, the property has totally been changing. From metal, it has been converted into glass. Now let's talk about the color. We know the color of your bulk gold, it is very shiny gold. But at nanoscale, okay, as size and shape changes, the color of your gold also changes. Okay, it has color range from red to violet, orange. Okay, these are the color of your nano gold. So you can see example, for 25 nanometer gold particle, it will exhibit red color. But for 50 nanometer, green color is exhibited. So see this red and green color, why it is so? Because of its optical properties. The optical properties of your gold has been changed now at nano level. Right, so this is an example. Next is nanotechnology in chemical industry. So as a chemical engineer, you will be mainly focusing on nano catalyst, which has wide application in refineries. Okay, other than that, energy storage. New kind of solar panels are now being developed. Okay, then sensors, then you have nanoscience application in food processing. Okay, then green chemistry. Environment is very important. Environmental regulation is very important now. So what you are doing in green chemistry, that you are using plant-based products to develop new nano materials, right? Then you have reforming, environmental remediation. So these are the area of chemical industry where you will be focusing on nanotechnology, right? So this was about your introductory lecture of nanoscience and nanotechnology. Thank you.